Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the May 1st meeting of the Walton County Planning Commission. I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to be with us tonight. If there's a case that comes up and some reason you're not able to attend our meetings in person, you can always watch our meetings on Walton County Facebook Live. Our next meeting for the Planning Commission will be June the 5th, and the Board of Commissioners, so the cases that are heard tonight will move to the Board of Commissioners, and that will be on June the 3rd. No meeting in July? So we will, but just, the reason I'm saying that, because there was a question and I'm trying to step out just a little bit for clarification. We were going to try to miss that holiday week. Can I go ahead and get a date for that meeting so that we'll kind of have advance for the members? July the 10th. So that's something we've asked to have addressed this year, because it's always hard to get everybody here that week of July the 4th, and our meeting falls on that week. And so Sharna, Tracy, and the staff there have worked with us to do that. So just make a note for all you guys so y'all can make preps. I'm sure you already made preps by this time. already got your stay-aways planned. So anyway. At this time, I'm going to ask Tim Kemp if he will open us in prayer. And once he finishes, if you guys would please stand with us for the pledge, we'd greatly appreciate that.
Let us bow. Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening in thanksgiving and praise, thanking you for all that you've done and all that you're about to do. Heavenly Father, guide us, lead us, and direct us in the planning of this great country and this great county in which we live. Lord, we ask you for your guidance and your desires. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for that. So at this time, I'd like to call our meeting to order. I'd like to show that all members are present with the exception of Josh Ferguson and Wesley Sisk. Hopefully everyone's had an opportunity to look over our meetings from our last meeting, and if so, and there's no errors or omissions, I will take a motion for approval of those minutes.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the minutes as is.
I have a motion. To have a second?
A second.
I have a second. All in approval, raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much. So a little bit of house cleaning or protocol real quickly, and we have a light crowd tonight, so but still, just to kind of give you a general guide. First of all, if I could ask everyone, if you happen to have a cell phone, if you go ahead and silence those, we would greatly appreciate that to keep from disturbing our meeting. And as the meeting begins to move forward, as we hear the cases, I'll ask for the applicants to come up first. Excuse me. And then once the applicant has given us the plans that he has for the use of the property or the request, I'll ask for any opposition that's here, and then we'll go back to the applicant for any rebuttal. So with that being said, we like to try to stick to a 10-minute time limit. That's 10 minutes for the applicant, 10 minutes for any opposition. So if there's several people in opposition to any one case, if someone could speak on behalf of the group, or if you would just be mindful of your time so that we can kind of keep our meeting moving along at a good pace. Also, anytime someone's speaking, if you would please just be courteous to that person. And we greatly appreciate that. So with that, I am going to move forward with tonight's agenda. We do not have any old business, so we will move on to new business for the evening. And with that, our first case is CU 25-0120. It's a conditional use for an outside storage and variance to allow for storage within the required front building line as currently stored. The applicant owners are Thomas Allen and Susan Atha. Property's located at 5395 Highway 20 and McCullers Road, excuse me. And are the applicants for this here? Thank you. If you would step up to the podium, state your name and address, and tell us what your plans are for the property.
Good evening. My name is Alan Atha, and my plan is to continue doing what I've been doing for over a year now, and that's just storing equipment on my property inside my fence line.
Okay. Do we have any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, Mr. Atha, you mentioned equipment, but what type of equipment are you storing?
These are roll-off dumpsters for C&D construction waste.
And are these
They're empty.
are these new or used dumpsters?
They're both, some new and some have seen a little use.
Okay. And on the, you say roll-off, will you be storing roll-off dumpsters as well as other types of dumpsters, or just roll-offs?
There's some front end, but they're all for C&D construction.
And do you, will there be any cleaning of the dumpsters or washout?
No.
And these are all empty when
Yes.
they arrive at your location? I noticed on the, I've been by your property, I noticed you've got a fence around a portion of your property, but on the zoning, it looks like that the zone calls for the entire property to be.
I don't know if it was prior to me purchasing. What's there now was there when I purchased the property.
Okay.
I haven't added or deleted any fencing.
Do you have fencing all the way up to 20, or is it just?
No, it ends at the last, well, not the last side entrance, but before the office building, it comes to the back of the office building.
So I think the question would be if the zoning approval, and with that approval for the use that you're asking, if that's granted, if the code indicates that for this zoning that you would need a fence around the entire perimeter, we want to make sure you're prepared and you know that that will be required.
I don't know why I would need to fence in the entire property when I'm only storing things in the back area.
Tracy?
I mean, I know. Yes, I would be prepared to if the board required me to do such.
Okay. I'm thinking that the code requires for the B zoning. Okay. So not the entirety. Okay, very good. Any other questions?
Well, in the future, if they wanted to expand to that property, then would they have to expand that fencing to the rest of the property?
The storage is only things that has to be fenced. The storage, where they're storing
The containers.
containers is the only area that has to be fenced.
Okay.
So
If
outside of what he's got now that's not fenced, then a fence would be required.
okay. You understand that, sir?
Yeah.
All right, very good. Thank you.
What about the side road?
About the what?
Oh, he's going to answer the deal.
Was there any additional questions?
Yeah,
Mr. Step back up for just a minute, please.
you say it's construction dumpsters, but I've seen some like the big square box dumpsters, like what you'd find behind retail spaces and stuff.
That's not what they're being used for.
Are these 50-foot dumpsters?
Yeah.
Okay.
You probably have various sizes, do you not?
Yeah, there's cubic yards.
Correct, correct. So you can, whatever your client needs, whatever size somebody calls you, you're
What they
able,
need for a certain.
you're able to accommodate them. Yes, sir.
Try to.
Yes, sir. Any additional questions? Thank you, sir. Is there anyone here in opposition to this request? Sir, if you could please step up, state your name, and tell us what your concerns are.
Yes, my name is Oliver Everett, and I live right next to where the dumpsters are at right now. And I noticed they all say Southern Sanitation on it. And about 4 years ago, we had the same meeting, and they were denied. And now they're back. And my concern is that they'll be bringing the small dumpsters, which are trash cans, along with the others. Right now, there's probably like 10 or 12 of the small dumpsters, and then there's roll-off dumpsters. And I have seen trucks where they transfer the waste into the open dumpsters, and then they haul them off about 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Is that your, thank you, sir.
Yes, that's-
Appreciate it. Anyone else in opposition? Mr. Eighth, I'm going to ask you to step back up, please. You want to make a rebuttal to?
Yes, sir. I have cameras, and there's no, I get notified when there's movement on the property, and I've never been notified at unreal hours.
Okay, and also, can we go back to the C and D? Your primary use is C and D only?
Yes,
Right, regardless of whose name's on the dumpster, it's on C and D only, so if there's condition for C and D only use there, you're okay with that?
that's correct.
All right, thank you.
Can I ask another question? Sorry. How many dumpsters do you plan on storing on the property?
What has been seen there is max.
How many is that?
I think there's been as many as maybe 20, but that was because some new ones were purchased, and they were stored until they could be put into usage. And they're down now to maybe sometimes as low as 10. I think right now there might not even be 10 out there.
So what's the maximum number that you can store, or the most that you will store on that property?
If I had to put a number on it, I would say 30 max. I mean, this is a temporary until another site can be developed.
So when you say temporary, how long are you talking about?
Well, 2 years was the time frame used, and we've already been a year into it. And so I'm looking at maybe another year. And that's long range goal, but I'm not, this is not a permanent solution. This is temporary.
So when you do find the next site, what's going to happen with this site?
I will still be at my site. The dumpsters and roll-offs will go to the other site.
And nothing's going to be on it after
No,
that?
no, this is not for, this was temporary storage.
So is it fair to say that, being that the comments have been made that the dumpsters are there, or have been being stored there, that more so than not, you're just seeking compliance here with the zoning, is that true?
That's correct.
Okay, very good. Any other questions? All right, any comments within the board members? And if not, I will take a motion regarding this case.
Chair, I will make a motion to approve, but I'm going to put a number of conditions on this. From the Google Maps, I've looked at the property, and there was more than 20 dumpsters in the photograph from Google's map. And it's a pretty big piece of property, and I would think that they could store 40, 50, 60, 70, I don't even know the amount on that property. It could store a large amount of dumpsters on that property. My fear is if there's, although they say it's construction, I've rented construction dumpsters in the past, and we threw everything in the kitchen sink in that dumpster, and it stunk when it got there, and it was bad when it left. And my fear is if there's a large amount being stored, that it's, there's neighbors beside that, there's a pond beside this location. So I would want to put some pretty heavy conditions on this to approve it.
Okay. Give us your conditions.
Only empty dumpsters could be stored there. No transfer station allowed on the property. No cleaning of dumpsters. Only construction dumpsters can be used, no garbage,
C and D.
C and D. And I would like to see a limit of dumpsters that could be stored. Mr. Athos says there's no more than 20 dumpsters, so I would say a total of maybe 30 dumpsters total that can be stored there.
Okay.
And the gentleman mentioned hours that the dumpsters were picked up in the middle of the night. I would like to see an hours of operation put in place, that maybe the dumpsters couldn't be taken or removed past 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night.
All right. What time does your trucks usually start getting there in the morning, Mr. Atham? Can you live with 7 to 7?
I'm fine, sir.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. So we have a motion for approval with the conditions that were listed. So I have the motion. Do I have a second?
Mr. Chair, a second.
I have a second. All in favor, raise your right hand and say aye. Aye. And this will carry to the Board of Commissioners next month at their meeting, as mentioned earlier, okay? Appreciate y'all being here. Next on the agenda for the evening is Z250148. This is to rezone 2 acres from A2 to B3 for a towing company and vehicle storage. The applicant is Jody Whitlock, owner. Jody and Ted Whitlock's located at 3275 Broadnax Mill Road. Is the applicant here?
Yes.
Sir, if you would please step up, state your name and address, tell us what your plans are for the property.
All right, I'm Ted Whitlock. My wife Jody Whitlock own a towing service at 3275 Broadnax Mill Road. Mr. Ayers had a farm and he passed away, and we purchased 2 acres behind our location and then an acre behind the granite countertops. We use the storage for storing cars that are impounded through the police jurisdiction, or they're derelict cars or private property impounds.
Okay. And so this is for storage only?
Yes, not a
No,
repair shop.
no repair, just storage only?
Storage only. They come in and they come out.
And
If they're wrecked, the insurance companies have the opportunity to come pick the cars up and haul them off to their lot.
then I guess the insurance companies also could potentially make their assessments there on the property, some of them.
Usually they come and pick them up, and they
Right.
take them to Copart.
Oh, okay.
Over on Georgia 20.
I got you.
Or IAA on 138.
Sure, all
We're
right.
just a holding facility until the insurance company can make what they need to do.
Okay. And did I understand you to say that some of the responsibilities I guess you have are what you serve would be county entities that you serve?
Police jurisdiction.
Police jurisdictions. Okay, very good. All righty. Any additional questions for the applicant? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone here in opposition to this case? There's not. Mr. Whitlock, can you come back up for just a second? So, Mr. Ferguson is absent tonight. I did speak with him this week and discuss this with him. One of the things that we would like to see there, I just want to make sure that you're okay with that, is we would like to see evergreen plantings within the buffer around the perimeter of the
We
property.
have an 8-foot fence with the little slots.
Okay. We would also like to see the evergreen plantings,
Okay.
which would extend above the line of the fence and give more privacy
Sure.
for, just for the area, since you do have outside storage. This is something, when we have any request for outside storage, we really look at, if we can do that to try to enhance it in that matter. And me and him think that this location is a good fit for us to try to recommend that.
Right.
And so I'll be planning to add that, but I just wanted to make sure that you're good with it.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. Any additional questions? If not, I would like to make a motion for approval as submitted, with the one condition that there be an evergreen plantings around the perimeter of the property within the buffer line. So if they have fencing there, it would be inside that fence line around the entire perimeter. And beyond that, we're good to go. Do I have a second?
Mr. Chair, I second it.
Do I have a second? All approve, raise your right hand, say aye. Aye. Thank you. This too will move to the Board of Commissioners next month, okay? You're free to go. Out of jail free card. You're very welcome. Next on our agenda is Z250153 to rezone 7.52 acres from A1 to A for a commercial kennel with variance. Applicant owner is Michelle Brooks. Property is located at 689 Jean Bell Road. Is the applicant here? Ms. Brooks, if you please step up, tell us what your plans are for the property.
She's got a good first name.
Michelle Brooks, I'm at 689 Jean Bell Road. I have German Shepherds that I breed, and in order to stay in compliance with having 1 or 2 litters a year, I need to rezone from A1 to A. No additional outside buildings, so dogs live in the house. Property was recently refenced 2.5 years ago, all the way around. So all new fencing, dogs don't get out, and that's it.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Any questions for the applicant?
I have no questions.
No
I've
questions?
seen that property.
Any opposition to this request? No opposition? All right. Ms. Brooks, thank you.
Thank you.
So with no opposition, if there's no comments or concerns within the members for discussion, I will ask for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we accept the rezone as requested, the variance for commercial kennel setback.
Thank you. I have a motion for approval. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor, raise your right hand and say aye. Aye.
Aye.
And this also, ma'am, will move to the Board of Commissioners next month, okay? Thank you. Next on the agenda for the evening is CU 25-0157 and Z25-058. This is to rezone 1 acre from A1 to B2 for minor auto repair and conditional use for outside storage, and variance to reduce the transitional buffer on the easterly side of the property from 50 to 25 feet. Applicant Michael Greenlee, owner, and Emily is the,
We don't want to put,
yes, I'm not gonna attempt it. Emily's the owner. And the property's located at 5495 Highway 20. Is the applicant here? Sir, on the end in the purple shirt, are you related to Emily? You are? So you can tell me how to pronounce that name?
Jim, I was close.
Thank you. If nothing else, I always encourage myself to become educated. I appreciate that.
educated.
Educated.
Say it again, Tim.
No. Yes, sir. Tell us, give us your name and address and tell us what the plans are for the property.
Sure. My name is Mike Greenlee. I'm with Travis Pruitt and Associates, engineer working on the project, and I live in 91 Whisperwood Lane, Athens, Georgia. And I'm here to represent my client in this. And so our client has purchased the property. That's 1 acre. It's in this. If you're familiar with the area, this Lance Court was developed 20 or so years ago as a, I guess longer than that, maybe 30 years ago now, as a commercial development. You can see here on the screen, all these lots are filled out with some warehousing uses and auto sales. Everything's, just about all of these lots in here are currently zoned B2. The subject there is one B3 up on the sort of north and left side there, near the cul-de-sac that was recently rezoned. This property is zoned A1. It was held out. I think it looks to me, I don't know the history exactly, but it looks to me like the developer that owned all this property kept that property for themselves when it was all rezoned, and it stayed as A1. My client recently purchased the property and would like to zone it so it's compliant with adjacent properties in the subdivision to a B2 zoning. So that's the first step. The second step that we're looking for, I guess associated with that, I'll talk about this first, but because this is going to be zoned B2, the property behind us is actually zoned A1/B2, and my understanding is that a transitional buffer is required there of 50 feet. Because it's A1/B2, there's a cell tower that's back there, and you can also see some of the cars parked in that area right behind us, so I don't think there's much of a threat for incompatible uses there. So we're suggesting that be reduced from 50 feet to 25 feet. And then the third item that we have on here is the conditional use. There is currently a residential house on the property, and the idea is that will be demolished as a part of this. And then temporarily, because it costs a lot of money to build a new facility out here, they would like to use this as a similar use, as you can see on the front right side. We went through the same process for conditional use a year or so ago for outdoor parking, outdoor storage of vehicles. It will be doing something very similar to that. And then when funds are available, we'll come back. That conditional use will go away, and we'll be doing a straight by right use to do a automotive minor, I forgot exactly what the terminology is now that I'm up here, but minor repairs for automotive, and it'll be a single building with some parking, and the proposed stormwater management facility that we've got on the back of the lot will remain there. So that's kind of the plan that we've got right now.
All right, thank you, sir. Any questions from the board?
Do they own the property that's on the corner of 20 and Lance Court,
On the front right one.
right? That's got
Correct.
all the cars?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so we'd be doing something very similar to that to start with, the conditional use. Then, a couple of years from now, when they have funding available, they'll rip up some of the parking or gravel lot that's going down, they'll put in a new building there.
Okay.
So what do you consider minor auto repair?
It is, I'd have to look at the zoning requirement. I can't remember exactly how that's defined in there. But what they do is they have cars that are in good working condition that they bring into their property. They will be cleaning them up essentially and making sure that everything's functional before they sell them. So it does not involve engine repairs. It does not involve any heavy equipment or anything like that.
So are you flipping cars? Is that getting them in condition for?
Correct. Yeah, generally that's.
So how many cars are we talking about storing or working on at this site?
I guess maybe that's a big question that's better for the owner.
Tell him to come up.
Sir, when you get up, if you don't mind, please state your name and address for us for the record.
My name is Timur Jamshidi, and our address is 2408 Lance Court, Loganville. What we planning to do there is minor basic automotive repair before we sell them, like oil changes, brake pads, just make sure all the safety functions are all good to go. Whatever minor stuff is necessary to get it up to par, whatever is needed.
So I would, based on what you say, you're either doing this for someone or doing it for yourself, where you purchase these vehicles, maybe auction vehicles, you go through them to make sure that all service is good, and then at that point, they're sold retail on a lot somewhere, but not at this site. Is that true?
Correct. These are high-end vehicles. We strictly stick to BMWs and some of the exotics like Ferraris and Lamborghinis. So none of the cars are from the auction when you refer to as in like if it's been wrecked or if it's been damaged. These cars are in almost excellent condition, and we just do the final touch-ups to make sure that it's up to par.
Yes, sir.
And all these cars will be operational?
All
As
of
in, will they be operational? They won't be junkers that's just going to be stored there, not able to be moved?
Absolutely not. These are 100% working order. They're 100% driven. You get a minor check engine light, like oxygen sensors or brake pads needs to be changed or oil change needs to be done before it's resold. But these are 100% roadworthy vehicles. None of them are junk. None of them are wrecked or accident or like you would buy one from Copart or IAA. It's like auctions that they sell those cars, they're wrecked vehicles. None of them are like that. These are not salvage rebuilt. These are 100% perfect vehicles, like all the trade-ins from CarMax or Manheim and all these larger dealers.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any additional questions?
Well, I'm looking also at security and lighting, because you're saying high-end cars, and those cars attract.
Well, if he's going to store high-end cars and he don't have security, shame on him, not us, right?
Yep.
I'm sure he's going to protect his.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We have 32 HD cameras. We have laser surveillance. If you walk into the lot after 7 p.m., the alarm goes off. We use our cameras all the time for Walton County sheriffs. They come in, check on our cameras to see if they're catching it, even on 20s. Our cameras go as far as Highway 20, actually. It's PTZ cameras. These are HD cameras.
Like I said, you got that kind of money sitting there, you're going to protect it.
Yep. Okay.
What was the other one, Tim? I think you had.
Lighting.
We
Lighting.
also, I'll answer that question for him. We also will have completely fenced-in lot. That was your question, to make sure they're protected.
Yeah, but lighting also.
Yes. Oh, another question to add on to that is we have 28 9,000 watts LED lighting. So when you walk in, it looks like a football stadium.
Pointed down or?
Pointed completely down towards the lot, onto the lot. You will not see any light outside.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Is there anyone here in opposition to this case? If not, I will bring it back to the board for a motion.
Chair, I'll make a motion to approve this rezone request. And I've got some conditions to add to it. Number one, you'll need to have the fencing in place as well as evergreen shrubbery around the property to, if you're storing cars, to keep that from your neighbors seeing it, right? Proper lighting, as Mr. Kemp said, and make sure that's focused properly into the property and not on your neighbors. The other condition I'm going to put on this, so you own the property down at 2408 Lance Court, I think. You haven't maintained your fencing around that. You've got chain link fence, but the fabric is ripped off and it's blowing away, and you've also got Leland cypress that are all dead around the property, that fence line, and the grass and hasn't been maintained. So I'm concerned, if we approve this, if you're going to allow the Leland cypress to die on this new property as you have on the old one, we're kind of defeating the purpose. So I'd like to put those conditions that you clean up that property and make sure your fence is maintained as well.
I don't think we can ask him, we as the board would have any lateral movement to ask him to clean up a property that's not part of the request that we're listening to tonight.
Okay.
We don't have that authority, correct, Ms. Tracy? Now, you can emphasize that the new facility be maintained at a higher standard, and that the fencing be kept in good repair, and that if any of the Lelands are screening, trees that are used for screening, if they happen to die, that they be replaced in a timely manner.
I'll add that.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
Yes, sir. Anything else?
I don't have any other conditions.
Okay, very good. So you understand the conditions that, and the concern too, so good faith goes a long way, even though we don't have the authority, as I said, but, we do like to kind of keep things as tidy as we possibly can. So with that, we have a motion for approval with the 3 conditions. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a second. All in favor, raise your right hand and say aye. Aye.
Aye.
And you two will move on to the Board of Commissioners next month, okay? Thank you, sir. So we have some amendments or ordinances that are going to be shared with us. This is OA 25-0159. And it looks like we have a willing individual at the podium. Well, even unwilling, she's going to share with us.
She just got voluntold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Proceed, ma'am. We're going to look at all these at one time or one? How do you want to do it?
How do you want to do it? Do you want
Last
to
time we did
individually or?
How many are they? 5?
They
There's-
all look good. Why don't we
yeah,
just do
5.
it at one time?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't see.
Yeah, why don't you just give us on these, just because I've looked at them too. There's really, I think we could probably look at all these at one time.
Okay, so
And
just
if we
kinda
have any questions, we'll address those. But
Okay.
go ahead and let's just take care of all of them at once, please.
Okay, so Amendment 1 is Chapter 18, Article 2 of the Occupational Tax, Section 18 through 33, to remove the amount of the fee. And we're changing it to, this amendment is changing the expiration date of the business license, so they do not all expire on December the 31st of each year. They will expire 1 year from the date of issuance. Amendment 2 is to amend Chapter 18, Article 3 to remove fee amount, and we are amending the code to remove all fees fee amounts and referring fees to the fee schedule as adopted by the Board of Commissioners.
All right, and just for the record on that one, can I clarify that you said Article 3, but our paper says Article 2?
It does say, your paper does say Article 2, but it should be Article 3.
Okay, very good. We just want to make sure you got the right one for
Yep,
public
we will
record.
fix that error before it goes any further.
Thank you.
Amendment 3 is to amend the Walton County Land Development Ordinance, Article 5, Part 5-1, Section 5-1-100. This is to amend to add personal care services which are currently not listed in the ordinance. Personal care services, examples would be hair, nail, skin care, barbershop, beauty salon, nail salon, diet and weight reduction centers, astrology, bail bond, fortune telling, palm reading, party planning, personal chef, and others outlined in the NAICS, which is the North American Industry Classification System. Article 4 is to amend Article 6, Part 6-1, Section 6-1-110, airstrip, helipad, private to remove fee amount. And we are amending this code to remove all fee amounts and referring fees to the fee schedule as adopted by the Board of Commissioners. And Amendment 5 is to amend Section 4-2-170 to require subdivision developments to comply with the OSC guidelines except lot size and density. We're changing it to, this amendment is being proposed to require subdivision developments within the WP2 watershed overlay to be the same as the OSC developments.
All right. Is there any questions, clarifications that any of the board would like to have regarding these amendments that we have before us? If not, I will bring it to the board for a motion.
I make a motion to approve the amendments as submitted.
So move.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
All right. So that will end our agenda for the evening and have a time for public comment.
I want to recognize that gentleman sitting in.
Well, I was just about to say, he came in, sat down, he ain't said a word.
That's one of my
We're going to have to bring
neighbors.
him up here to the podium.
He taught me years ago in school.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. He's too young to teach you.
That's Mr. Eric Floyd. He works at Walton EMC. I invited him to come and just observe the meetings.
Are you a lineman, sir? That means me and you's a brother, because I used to be one too for quite a long time for your sister partner over at Jackson EMC. So appreciate you, what you do. Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much for serving the public. Yeah, as I like to say, there are certain aspects of occupations that I don't feel get quite the recognition that they should, and that just happens to be one of them.
As I tell the students, that's one occupation you can't make 99.
Yeah.
If you live to tell about it, you're one of the lucky ones.
All right, we appreciate that. With that, I will take a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion that this meeting is adjourned.
I have a second. I have a second. All in favor, raise your hand.